You definitely are right. There is no way to deny how great of a second quarter NIO had in 2021. They had a record-breaking month of June, a record-breaking quarter, more deliveries than they've ever had, in the history of the company. On top of this, Tesla did well, but the thing to keep in mind is that this is just the beginning for NIO. They have so much more room to grow, and because of supply chain issues in the first quarter, and in the second quarter as well with semiconductors, I think the second half of the year is going to be even better. We're starting to see the stock price bounce back significantly, but on top of all this, while NIO's doing great, I think they're going to do well in the second half of the year. There are a couple things that we need to talk about with regards to what is going on with some of their competitors. Not Tesla, we talk about Tesla a lot, but with some of the other ones like XPeng and Li Auto, because Li Auto almost delivered as many vehicles as NIO did in June alone, and Li Auto only has one vehicle, one model that they sell, so they almost sold as many as NIO. On top of this, XPeng is another big competitor, and people don't seem to give these companies enough attention yet. Being Chinese-based companies that do business in China, they have a lot of the same benefits as NIO in the sense that they're backed by the Chinese government, they're backed by Chinese-based companies, and they're going to get all the same benefits that NIO has. So today I thought we'd talk about everything going on with NIO and some of the things with the competitors with Li Auto and XPeng as well. And we're just going to have a chat about it. So if you guys enjoy this sort of content, please be sure to like the video, subscribe, and if you don't already have the public.com investing app, make sure to go ahead and follow me on that. You can buy stocks, sell stocks, and see exactly what I'm buying and selling in real time, as well as a full portfolio breakdown. Think of it like an investing app combined with social media. It is completely free to follow me. Use the code Michael when you sign up, and you'll get up to $50 in a free stock. But anyways, let's just start off by talking about what's going on with NIO's numbers and why I think they're going to do better in the second half of the year than they did in the first. And that's saying a lot because they did actually pretty well in the first half of 2021. But so first things first, what went on in the month of May? So in the month of May, they actually saw a decrease in the number of total vehicles delivered simply because of what happened with the semiconductor shortage in all across the world for automakers. So in the month of May 2021, NIO delivered less vehicles than they did in the month of April. That was the first time we ever saw a decrease for them in terms of monthly deliveries. Not great. They saw about a 5.5% decrease in the total number of deliveries. However, the month of June, they bounced back really strong, and they delivered a record-breaking number of over 8,000 vehicles in the month of June 2021. NIO, XPeng, and Li Auto, and Tesla, every single electric vehicle company had a record-breaking month for the month of June and for Q2 of 2021. Every single EV company, those four that we said, NIO, XPeng, Li Auto, Tesla, record-breaking numbers for the quarter, record-breaking numbers for the month. So why do I think NIO is going to do better, first of all, in the second half of the year than they did in the first half? So that main reason comes down to what happened with the semiconductor shortage. They were able to bounce back in June after having a rough month in May. And then that shows me that the supply chain issue with semiconductors has been resolved. We know it's been resolved. We saw issues across the entire automotive industry. That's been resolved. So they're not going to have a slow month like they did in May because of semiconductors. In addition to this, what also is going on is they're continuing to ramp up production. They have an annual production capacity of about 150,000 vehicles, which is a great sign moving forward because they're not even near reaching that capacity yet. So they still have a lot more room to grow, and it's not like they're making a lot of vehicles but not able to sell them. Every single vehicle they make, they sell, and that's the same for the entire EV industry, especially in China. They sell 20 million cars a year. Only a small percentage of that is EVs, and they're trying to get that percentage up to 25% of all cars sold to be EVs within the next couple of years by 2025. But so either way, that's why I think they could do better in the second half of the year, simply because of the semiconductor shortage and the continued growing demand and government policies in place in China. More demand, they're able to, run the factories smoothly. They don't have all of those supply chain issues from semiconductors. But now let's talk about what competition they have, because there's a couple of things we need to keep in mind, a couple of things I want to talk about with regards to NIO and other EV companies in China. So first of all, when we look at NIO, their direct competitors in China obviously are the Tesla SUV, the Tesla Model Y, because For NIO, one of their best-selling vehicles is the ES6, which is one of their prominent SUVs. They sold 9,935 of these in Q2 of 2021. They sold 3,700 in June of this year. And when we look at this, the NIO ES6, that was their best-selling model, that has about 379 miles of range, sells for a starting price of $55,000 up to $72,000, competes directly with the likes of the Tesla Model Y, which sold significantly more. But the one that I want to talk about today specifically is going to be Li Auto, because the Li One is a major competitor in terms of price point. It's very similar. It's $50,700, and NIO is $55,000. Very similar. It's a little on the cheaper side, actually. The starting price is a lot cheaper. But the thing to keep in mind with Li One is that Li Auto only sells the Li One model. That is all they sell. That's it. So the thing that is important about that is they sold close to 8,000 vehicles in the month of June 2021, and no one is talking about this. They sold 7,700 vehicles in the month of June 2021, and they sold 7,700 and they only sold one vehicle. They only have one model. So that's important, because when we're looking at the SUV market in China, we have the Model Y, Tesla Model Y, we have the NIO ES6, and we also have the Li One. But the thing is, Li One sold more than the ES6. So when everyone says NIO is leading the way, yes, they do sell more vehicles in total. But when we're looking at monthly delivery numbers, XPeng was only 300 vehicles. I mean, Li Auto was only 300 vehicles short of NIO, despite the fact that NIO has 3 models and Li Auto has 1 model. So yes, that's something to keep in mind, because if Li Auto can dominate the space, the SUV space, and continue to ramp up production, well, there's a bit of a threat there for NIO, simply because it shows consumers really like this one specific model that Li Auto sells. However, on the flip side of that, there are a lot of risks associated with it, because Li Auto generates all the revenue from the Li One, a single model vehicle, that's it. And if there's ever any issues with it, let's say there's any issues with it, whether it's with supply chain, whether it's with recalls, if there's any issues, they're in big trouble, because that's the only vehicle they sell. But as of right now, people seem to really like it. In addition to this, I don't think Li Auto is going to last long term, specifically with this one vehicle, because this is a hybrid. This vehicle is a hybrid, which means that it does have the longest range. It has 497 miles of range versus NIO, which is right around 390. But the thing is it's sort of like the in-between. It's in between electric and combustion, and China is trying to move over entirely into electric vehicles. So this is almost like a band-aid, like a temporary fix to the solution, while China is moving from electric to EV, while they're moving from combustion to electric. So that's something just to keep in mind. I think Li Auto is in a great position. They're selling more vehicles, more SUVs from that one model, the Li One, than NIO is for the ES6. So that's something to keep in mind. I think in the short term, it is taking market share away from NIO, simply because of the fact people like this model. It has longer range, it's a cheaper price, but long term, I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue, simply because of what is going on with China transitioning from combustion engine vehicles to electric vehicles. And Li Auto is not solely an electric vehicle. It's an easy fix. They can always go ahead and just change this up, redesign the vehicle so it's solely electric, because right now all they have is a additional 45-liter fuel tank that can be used to charge the vehicle's battery. So they don't need that there. They can just make the battery bigger so the range continues to last longer. But either way, that is an issue to think about. And finally, let's talk a little bit about XPeng, because XPeng, people say, is a major competitor to NIO. But when I start to look at it, XPeng isn't really a competitor to NIO directly, in my opinion, because I mean, they are. Don't get me wrong. But the thing to keep in mind is I feel like Li Auto competes a little bit more, takes more market share away, because first of all, Li Auto sold more vehicles than XPeng did in the second quarter of in the month of June of 2021. But also, XPeng sells significantly more of their model, the P7. That's what makes up a vast majority of their sales, and that's a sedan. NIO does have sedans, they're working on sedans, but the thing is they sold more of their SUV models in the first half of the year. So right now, in terms of SUVs, it's really NIO, Li Auto, and Tesla. Those are some of the main EVs or hybrids in the case of Li Auto, but XPeng sells sedans. So something just to keep in mind moving forward. XPeng sells SUVs as well, but it makes up such a small portion, it seems like it's not as popular with consumers. So that's what's going on with NIO. I don't think NIO has anything to worry about long term with Li Auto. Short term, it could pose a couple of challenges just because people seem to really like the vehicle. It does have longer range, it is less expensive, but for people who are looking solely into electric vehicles, then Li Auto isn't the best fit for them simply because of what is going on with it being a hybrid. So I just want to point that out because a lot of people overlook Li Auto because it's just not talked about in the media as much. XPeng, NIO, those are the more talked about companies in China. So I want to point out what's going on with Li Auto because they did deliver more vehicles than XPeng. In June of 2021, they delivered almost as many vehicles as NIO, and I feel like they just go under the radar a lot. So let me know what you guys think. Are you invested in Li Auto? Are you not? I'm invested in all three, in XPeng, Li Auto, NIO, and also Tesla. I'm in all four of those companies. But let me know what you guys think. I just want to do a quick little chat, talk about that. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. See you guys.